So hey everyone, what's up? We are going to competitive programming with CodeChef. Talk given by CodeChef. This is day one of beginner track. So if you are beginning the journey of competitive programming, here it is. I will share the link in the description. You can check that out. So let's start with introduction to programming. So what we have to do is we use input, output, loop, condition, and data types. These kind of things are used in competitive programming. Now there are basically three languages which are very important over here, are that is C++, Java and Python. Some also use C as that is in their curriculum. So that's all right. You whatever language you use, you are able to solve. If you are able to solve a problem, that would be enough. So just go through the link of your preferred language. W3 schools, that is very popular uh, thing. If you want to learn anything, like, it contains very good stuff for understanding purpose. So here it is. What we do in C++, we use int main and hello world. So basically here we put C out. Okay, C out, C in. So this is it. Okay, C out we use to output any statement. So that this is very basic. I mean, if you have studied this in 11th class, I think this time they are teaching Python in 11th. Okay, so starting you have to know, like in Java, here you use system.out.println hello world. So this statement is used to print something, and that this all is predefined. Okay, you are given already with this in competitive programming. When you select Java as your preferred language, you will get this. Okay, that's how we output something in Java. Now come Python. This is my favorite because sometimes you are fed up of writing C out, C in kind of things, and then comes your simple print hello world. This is so great that most of the time when there are like many lines of code, and when it comes to Python it reduced to 10 or maybe more, less than that or more, whatever. It depends on the question, but it's little harder to understand because when we try to shorter the things it become more complex, but it all depends on how you are able to grasp it. Now for running your code, there is a good online editor that might be useful, that is onlinegdp.com. This is OnlineGDP, and I use it very much. In most of the time I use it as, like, if you don't want if you don't know about this, you just write okay Python online editor. After WC3 school there is OnlineGDP. This is that. Okay, so you can easily get this just by writing this, so no need to worry about any. You can choose any one of them, and if you feel comfortable with any, that would be awesome. So this is onlinegdp.com. You can check that out. I will share this link also. Now coming with IDs, if you are not interested in online IDs, or you want something offline, or want to do a good project or something, like want to check output without using internet, and so these are three things which are very famous over there, like VS Code, Sublime Text Editor, Code Blocks. For Python there is PyCharm. I have already installed this. I think PyCharm. This is PyCharm Community Edition. You can learn this. I mean, if you want to install this, you can watch any YouTube tutorial how to install this, because you have to be focused on something. Like they ask for, if you want this, if you want that, then there are many things that must be checked out, or you have to agreed upon that. So this is required. Like if you watch a YouTube video, it would be very much comfortable. So let's start. What is competitive programming? Okay, what basically is competitive programming. So competitive programming are time-bounded online individual team competitions in which you are given logical algorithmic data structure related problem to solve within the time duration of contest using any programming language. I mean, if you are like interested in any language like C++, Java, Python, or any other, some are interested in C, that is also okay. So if you have a command over any programming language, and then you can be a part of competitive contests. They are time bounded. Actually, this is very important, that your answer should be very within the time. First of all, you have to answer any particular question within the time, and that program must be very efficient according to the test cases. Like some test cases are very long and which take lot of time, so we have to solve in such an optimized way that our program is sufficiently can solve any big input given to it. Okay, so journal thing, if in CP we used to shorten the note like or competitive programming, we say CP in short. Okay, so fast IO input, if you are taking an input, very big input, so the output must be very fast, because there are some AND cases which not able to which our program is not able to solve. There are some point cases which because of which things might go wrong, so we have to take care of that. This is how GDP online debugger looks like. Okay, so this is for, as you can see, printf. This is used for C. Okay, so this is actually for C. Now you can select any language like C, C++, Java, and you can go ahead. So this is online GDP. It's very much useful if you like something online thing. Okay, so this is not working. This is SPOJ problems. SPOJ problems interest. Let's see how will this work. I think it will. Yes, so this is in test, enormous input test. Like if the input is very big, as you can see, let me, like this, if the input is very big, then what about the output? Okay, so the purpose of this problem, see, this is SPOJ, very famous thing for beginners. SPOJ, Sphere Online Judge. They also held some contests, and like there are many problems, so this is also kind of problem, enormous input test. So in this problem, the purpose of the problem is to verify the method you are using to read input data is sufficiently fast to handle problems branded with the enormous input output warning. You are expected to be able to proceed at least 2.5 MB of input data per second. So the input, so this is called, this is what, like if the input is given to this particular program, so it would be less than or equal to 10 raised to power 7. Like if you are not if you are giving an input of 10 raised to power 9 or more than that, then the program will not be sufficient for that. So the program range is bound to this. Okay, I mean domain is bound to this. Write a single integer to output the denotation. Okay, so what we have in this problem is you have to enter 7 integers, and that must be divisible by 3, that is k over here. Okay, so this is k, and like this is 7, this is k, and there are 7 inputs you have to enter, and in these 7 inputs, which of the following are divisible by 3, we have to count the numbers. Okay, so like 1 is not, 11 is not, but 51 is 5 plus 1 is 6, so this is divisible, this is also divisible, 7 is not, 9 is also divisible, so there are total 4. Okay, 51, this number 9 and this number. So how we have done this? This is all about INTEST enormous input test. Okay, you can check that out if you go in. I will share this link and you can go from here easily. Just keep this in mind that there is no gap. Okay, I have to remove that gap to come here. So there are many people who are also learning this. The best way to learn is to tell each other, to help each other. Okay, so if anyone is having problem in this, they can ask in comments, and then others also answer. And if you know the answer, you definitely go ahead to explain things. The much you explain, the more you have experience in, or I mean, if the much you explain, the more time the thing will retain in your mind. Now coming with test cases, very important thing. This is the combination of different input. This is how the competitions in competitive programming, they judge us. What they do is, like, if this use see, there is a simple program which use sum of two numbers, and what you have taken 1 and 2, and your output is 3. Okay, very nice. But is this output also also gonna be true for 10 raised to power 9 and 10 raised to power 11? So they check these kind of cases. So very important thing it is, if you are doing a simple program, you have to make it that sufficient that it covers the all the range they are asking about, all the range, 10 raised to power 7, 10 raised to power 9. This is all about int, float kind of things. You will learn it further. But here the different input test cases are mostly independent, sometimes dependent from each other. Okay, so there are set of test cases which they use to test us. Like when you submit a program you made and your output is correct for your inputs, but what about their inputs? They check by their inputs. If all the inputs are correct, if all the outputs are given by their inputs is correct, then that would be the correct answer. Now topic 1 is one-dimensional arrays. This is very simple. Like, if you have already heard about this in class 11th or so. So what are arrays? They are a collection of finite value objects. You can check this out. I will share the link. So I am not going to this theory much. That's how arrays are represented. This is 1, 2, 3, and this is ABC. Strings are quoted. Okay, strings are quoted. Like if you quote 1 also, that will also gonna be a character. Now coming about the basic programming stuff, you should try on 1D array or arrays. Okay, basically arrays are automatically considered as 1D. For 2D you have to specify them. Now declaring the array with given input size, input the array, output the array, assessing the value from the array. Just go through the links of your preferred language and you will like all these are programmers.com. Let me see this. Okay, let's see how they make things. Then what they are teaching it here. So everyone is trying to help us because this is budding technology, or the more you go, this is how an array is denoted. It is in double. You can change it to int, float, whatever. And 21 is the size, 27 is the size, from 0 to 26. Okay, like int x equal x bracket 6, yani x is the array of 0 to 5. See this, 0 to 5. Okay, you can study as much about this as possible. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements, but the position of 19 is 0th. You have to take this in mind. This is about arrays in C++. What about Java? Let's see. See, as much you are exposed to any language, the more you expose to any language, that would be better, because this is a time. You have to write string with S capital, and with this square brackets you have to write array equal to new string 100. Okay, that's how you represent an array in Java. Okay, now this array can be this name can be changed. There is no problem in changing this name. That is a string, a new string of 100 with 0 to 99 indices. Now, like double data is equal to new double 10. Okay, so here it was string, here it is double. So what we have, what the thing common is, if we make a array with double, then here we also have to write the same. Now let's coming with Python. Everything in Python is much simpler than expected. Okay, as much you go deep in Python, you will love it, definitely. I remember many of our college students also like it a lot. So if input string is input enter a number, that's how we input a number. In C++, what we write, C in enter a number, that's how we enter a number. Okay, now print. This is a line gap, this is the line gap. Okay, you can see enter and user list are far apart because of this println. Then coming with, okay, this is something else, getting a list of input. No, this is not that. We are talking about array. This is array. Okay, this is array. For num in user list, sum plus equal to int num, means they are making a user list as input string dot split, and then they are putting numbers in step by step wise. Okay, so because of the gap problem, this happens a lot of the time. Don't worry, this is how Python use to create a, like, car is fraud, Volvo, BMW. This is an array of strings. Okay, so at the 0th position fraud, and at 2nd position BMW. Take this in mind. Now coming with the above link will browse go through 1D array. We have already checked it. If you want to read it again, you can go through it. Now topic string is already told about. A is a string. If you write something with this, B also, like if A and B are together, then it gonna be a string. But if you write single thing, it is character. We say this character. Okay, and if we write in quotes, like double quotes, and write your name in between, that will be a string. Like hi is a string. Input string, output string. Then this is, just go through a link of your preferred language. I will go through Python. Okay, there is a copy link option also. Print hello. Hello is same as hello. You can display a string literal with print. Okay, you can try it yourself also. Here A is this is a string. Okay, the whole long string. Now coming with the other link will browse you through your programming expert. Let's look at, okay, Okay, everything is in W3 school. Let me show you this also. This is in Java, how to represent a string. We just write a string with S capital. We write any variable, like here is greeting is equals to hello in quotes. Okay, that's how we represent a string. This is a text string, and then how to output this. The way is very good. We write any statement, whatever we want to write, within system.out.println, then we add text.length. Okay, the length of the string, text in the string, we write text.length. Like if here only a is written, so what will be the length? 1. All the things are written, what will the length? The length of the total number of alphabets over here. Okay, now 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, these all are the functions which are methods. In better sense, these are methods, like text to uppercase. Don't forget to use camel casing. This is called camel casing. T is small, U and C are capital. The output is gonna be hello world, and that is all capital. Now for lowercase, it is hello world. HELLO, these all are small, and word is also small. Basically this is the text, and we are changing it to this. As you know, ASCII codes of every of capital and small are different, so this helps a lot. Then talking about the index, as you know, P is at index 0, so whatever the index they are asking, they are trying to ask you the position -1, the actual position -1. That output is 7. Okay, this was about Java. Let us see C++ also. People who are thinking to learn this C++, this is very simple. String hello. Actually this is new C++. In previous one we only write char only. Okay, this string keyword come lately, but it's all great. But we can write string greeting is equals to hello. That would be the answer. Okay, do these exercises, short exercises. The more you indulge yourself in these kind of things, the more you understand. Okay, so this is what CodeChef shared with us as a day 1 for beginner track, and as you can see, there are 13 more people which are active right now. I mean, that's how people are reading this, that large amount of people, because this is a random time, and students are understanding it, reading it. That is very good thing. The more you read it, the more you go through it, you can be better at. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching, and hope you have learned something new, and you are going to be a better competitive programmer, and you are in the journey with me. Okay, so thanks a lot who have watched this, and best of luck for your journey. Keep practicing. I will try to upload more on this subject, because I found this beneficial. I found this something new. They are starting, today is Tuesday actually, and they started from Monday. So I think let's be in the track with them and learn what they are teaching us. Okay, so thanks a lot. Bye.